Courtney Carmichael.
And where did you go to college?
I went to the University of New England in Biddeford.
Okay. And what did you go to school for?
Occupational therapy.
Can you tell us a little bit about your degree?
Basically, it's a 5-year degree, and I got my master's in 5 years. And as an occupational therapist, basically my job is to get people back to doing what they need to do and like to do. I often work with people who have disabilities. I originally started out with physical therapy, but I don't know, my mom just kind of saw my interest with working with children who have disabilities. I work at Maine Medical Center on the psychiatric floor, otherwise known as P6, the infamous P6. Well, my mother is a nurse, also at Maine Med, and I worked with a child who had a brain injury, and I've worked with autistic children, and I just decided to go with occupational therapy per my mom's advice, and I really enjoyed working in psych. It's really interesting. There's never a dull moment. And plus, it was a bonus because occupational therapy is a 5-year degree, whereas PT now moved to a 7-year doctorate. So 2 years less of schooling, which is good because now I have a job that pays me well, whereas people who just graduated with a PT degree, well, the job market's not so hot right now. So the thing about occupational therapy is there's so much. We can work with children, we can work with elderly, we can work with adults with traumatic brain injuries, and I'm kind of only working with a little bit of the population. I still work with like a variety of ages, but I mostly see people aged 60 and up. Hardly ever see any young people up there. In high school, I knew that I was going to go to college. I worked hard to get the grades and be in extracurricular activities and groups and be well-rounded and volunteer places and as far as what college to go to, I mean, I looked at state schools, but for OT is kind of different because you can't really get it at a state school as an extra. You can, but it's an extra year, I think. So, although looking back, it's much cheaper to go to a state school. So, that would be my suggestion to someone else: is take an undergrad at a state school, save some money, then take the master's. I would suggest to just stick with it. It's kind of a hard program. I had to take a lot of anatomy. I actually had to take a gross anatomy course, which you work on cadavers, and it's kind of, and you have to take neuro, which is hard, and your internships are 12-week long internships, which are a long time. And it's a long road, but it's definitely worth it.
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
I think that'll do it.